Peace, love, and law, everyone. Welcome to In God We Trust Academy podcast tonight. Hope everybody's having a great and wonderful night as you're tuning in with us. Got some special things coming for you guys tonight, as always. So appreciate our day ones and appreciate our new beginners, as we always have people who always join us after they see us. So we definitely always just give thanks for each and every last one of you for always tuning in with us, man. It's always a great privilege to do this and an honor, for sure. You know, just being able to live this beautiful life. Yeah, you better live it, for sure. I'm ready. Hope you guys ready for the night, man. Such a beautiful time, such a beautiful time, such a beautiful time, man. Let y'all vibe out for us. Go ahead and hit the share button. Like and subscribe us. We're on YouTube, In God We Trust Academy. Twitch, In God We Trust Academy. We on TikTok, MNRP61920. Turban Swag, that is. And also on Facebook as well. And In God We Trust Academy. And you can also follow myself, Eric Ingram Bay, on there as well, too. So make sure you lock in with us, man. Make sure you do that. We also have a few upcoming events, man, and great time. A great time, man. As you can see, tomorrow we have work sessions Mondays. On Mondays, 11 a.m. Central Time. So it is free to get in there with us. So just like we're doing right now, you get to see other things and stuff like that, but you actually get to be inside the class, ask questions, things of that nature. So it's always a good thing to be in there. Always a good thing to be a member, as we would say, you know. All right. So, and also Wednesday, 6 p.m. Central Time, we lock in on it as well. So make sure you're there for those 2 days, if you can possibly be. You know what I'm saying? Share with all of your great people that you can, right? Also, when it comes to November the 29th, we will be having a White Friday sale. So everything pretty much on the website will be half off. Just make sure you go check out a couple of things that you guys might be interested in, certain classes and stuff like that. Very reasonable prices, especially since they're going to be even half off now. So, you know, just your opportunity to, you know, gain a few things. Also, right now, we still got going buy one work session season. You can get the other season free. So if you get season 1, you get season 2. If you want whatever, it's your choice as well, except for you can't get the season we're actually in the middle of right now. So it's actually 1 through 4, but still an opportunity for you to do so, man. So again, it's just always great feeling, man, to do this. Gonna actually have a great, big, huge conference coming here in Huntsville, Alabama, December the 10th, 10 a.m. Central Time to 4 p.m. Central Time. We'll be at the Huntsville Country Club, and we're gonna be speaking on private administration and private court settlement, which you are actually the private court, where you can actually settle things commercially in the commercial way. And everyone has to be honorable when it comes to this actual situation, right? Because if you're not honorable, see, that's where the problem comes in at. So we need everybody to be honorable. And see, that's where they slip up at when they forget that we know what's going on in commerce as well, too. So, you know what I'm saying? We can't never let them take that from us. We got to do our due diligence, too, family. Don't forget that. Make sure you know we got to do our due diligence too, right? Always. We got to do our part. So let's make sure we do that. All right, let's make sure we do what we supposed to do. All right. So, man, We're gonna talk about some things tonight. We're gonna be on credit denial tonight, and everybody does this. You're trying to get some money, do this, do that, but you got to know the rules to the game. Again, we're out here doing a lot of stuff without the rules to the game, right? So we're gonna make sure we're gonna jump in on that. I'm gonna give you guys a couple more minutes to hit the share button and get some more people up in here, and then we're gonna jump off into this and have a full discussion, right? Just to give you an idea what's supposed to be, what's not supposed to be, how to handle the situation, and let's be, right? So we're gonna make sure we talk about that tonight. We're gonna make sure we handle a few things and get you guys all the way in line and then ready for the things that's coming up for this conference, right? Kind of gonna be about what we talk about tonight as well. So hope you guys are ready. Hope you guys are ready. Yeah, I hope you guys are ready. Great time to be here though, for real. Doing what we doing. Amazing time. All right. So where everybody from? Where y'all at? Let me know. What is our reach tonight? Yeah. What is our reach tonight? Yeah, where y'all at? Tell me where you from. Tell me where you're from. Naptown, Cali, North Carolina. Cali always in the house with us. Cali. Dallas, Texas. Hey, man. That's what's up. I still just remember growing up as a child, no cell phones. I remember when beepers first came in. I remember the big old bag with the cell phone in it. I remember all that. And here we are talking to people on the internet from anywhere we want to. It was amazing. Straight up. Alrighty then, man. Like I say, guys, we give thanks for you guys, as always, for always tuning in with us. And without you, we would not be doing this. So, again, we appreciate you for sure. And I also want to give thanks to the Almighty, the Most High, just for having this opportunity, still having all of my liberty intact, free conscious state of mind, and being able to act on our will, right? And decisions, and there's nothing greater than that. Because life, man, what would life be if you didn't have free will? You would be a robot, pretty much. So thank God, for real, that we really do have, a free consciousness. That's major, yo. You can't never, ever take that away, right? We don't want to never take that away at all. All right, man. So let's talk about it. Everything that you guys hear from this point on is for educational or religious purposes only. Anybody seeking any form of legal advice, please do seek a legal advisor, as it is my religious duty to speak my religious truth to you guys today. So with that being said, man, first of all, let's credit. Credit is something, right? Credit is something that we're always having to deal with. All of us are having to deal with it in some shape, form, or fashion. So how should we handle this credit situation is what we have to ask ourselves. How should we handle the credit situation? Well, we need to know the rules to the game. So if we go to first of all, well, let's can we start from the beginning today? Drop some ones if we can start from the beginning, because I think that's what's going to help clarify today. And I think I got time. So if y'all got time, I got time. Y'all want to start from the beginning today? Let me know. Drop some ones if we can do that with you guys today. I would love to know. Okay. TikTok said we can do it now. Well, what y'all talking about, Facebook? Can we do it today? All right. They say we can do it. So let's do it. So we're gonna need to start at the very beginning of this whole entire situation. And in order for us to talk about credit, we literally have to start talking about money and how we got here when it comes to this money situation. What is credit and where does credit come from? What is a consumer credit sale? Things of that nature. We all have to take this to consideration. And why is your social security number into this situation? Why is it always needed? Social security number is supposed to be something that's very private, and it had nothing to do with any form of credit. See, the thing about it is social security number had nothing to do with your ability to pay. So what was the purpose of us having to give it in the first place? Unless it goes back to the reference of why we are even dealing with the Social Security situation anyway. Because if you go back and read the United States Constitution, it would also tell you that the United States is responsible for the general welfare of the people. So part of the general welfare of the people is always going to be the actual, food, things, all of that other nature, as well as the money, right? Because the money is very detrimental to make sure that commerce goes in the most flowing way. It's kind of like the rivers that flows up against the banks, as I'm saying, right? And those rivers need to flow in a way that is amazing. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be in harmony. Everything has to flow. And if it don't flow, then yeah, we're going to have a problem, right? So at one point in time, there was gold and silver in transactions and things of that nature, right? And that's where precious metals come into the place because they hold some form of intrinsic value as well, right? And so now when it comes to, because we could use gold and silver for more than just monetary value, like it could be used for other things that is always used in building computers and all of this type of stuff, right? Certain things they use it for, right? Gold connectors and all of that. So when you start looking at the intrinsic value of gold and silver, then that lets you know a lot. But when we start dealing with the paper, that also says a lot. What intrinsic value does it really have? It does not have any, for real. I mean, because that which it came from, it's like, comes from, it's paper, it's cloth, well, too. But, it comes from other natural resources of the earth, like trees and stuff like that, right? So when we look at it from this standpoint, and you have to understand that Article 1, Section 10 says that the state cannot, and this is where I think a lot of people get stuff confused is, because it said the state can't make anything but gold and silver legal tender. See, it gave Congress all of the power to do what's needed to be done when it comes to the monetary factor of the government, such as, they had the power to create a form of paper currency, right, if needed be. So, and it did happen. So since it did happen, and this was placed into effect, so now they took up all the gold at one point in time, right? All of the gold, all of it, right? And there were certain things that was put into play to have certain people, certain people disappeared, something like what they call the Titanic. It was a very lot of wealthy people on there that was in the weight of what the Federal Reserve is today. And that is a fact. So these people were removed, and then they were able to go into, like, from 1913 all the way up to 1933, every single form of move that they made in order for them to be able to issue the paper currency with a private corporation. See, because at one point in time, there were what you call U.S. Treasury notes. And the U.S. Treasury notes, all right, the U.S. Treasury notes were coming from the United States Treasury, all right? So now we don't have any notes coming from the Treasury at this point, okay? So now we got locked in with this Federal Reserve Bank, all right? Now, when the United States said that they were going to let the do business with the Federal Reserve Bank and let them print money, and this money, well, the Federal Reserve was like, hey, well, this is our property and we're going to charge you for it. So, and they also charge for the production. So they're charging for the production of the money and the use of it. Now, if you go back and read 12 USC 411, which has tell you everything about the Federal Reserve. So if you really want to know about the Federal Reserve, what you got to realize is that the Federal Reserve notes, that is, the obligation is only to make advances. So if we dealing with making advances, we're dealing with a type of borrowing situation where there's interest, fees, and taxations that's going to be involved, right? But it also said that there was a form of redemption there, right? And that redemption was to the people to redeem it as lawful money. And this literally just means that we're stating that this is equivalent to what is particularly known as gold and silver, right? So now, this is the United States Treasury notes was out. People didn't use them anymore. We ended up with Federal Reserve. And now we are literally dealing with private credit. So now there has to be, after 1933 came, now we start dealing with the birth certificates, and now we start dealing with the Social Security Administration. So now we're dealing with all of this, particularly because in order for the United States to actually, deal with the people in the commercial way, well, they had to create what they called corporations. So legal entities. And these legal entities are to deal with in the commercial realm known as the law merchant, right? And now that you know that it's dealing with the law merchant, that's a different situation, correct? So now, dealing with the law merchant means that the United States is in commerce. Now that the United States is in commerce, they have to run everything by administrative procedures, which now places the United States no longer in a sovereign authority, but the way they gain this authority is through contractual agreements, which is dealing with statutories, right? So unless it's fully expressed by what your intent or whatever you are doing in some form of situation, then it's going to be implied that you are operating in commerce. So everybody has to understand right now that you are automatically considered self-employed, no matter what you think or do. And they consider that everything that you're doing, that you are in the buy and resale, right? That's what you're doing. They're thinking that you're going to fully buy and resell these type of things, which is how you end up with taxation and also being taxed with the Federal Reserve note based upon the event as well of you using the note, the private credit, all right? So now we end up with credit here based upon you taking advances from the Federal Reserve being pushed into the economy because we're saying that we don't have enough United States Treasury notes, anything coming from our Treasury. All right, drop some ones if you understand that, man. Drop some ones if you understand that. Let me know, because a lot of people don't get that part. A lot of people don't get that. All right, drop some ones. Drop some ones. So now they are dealing with you according to this particular entity, because in order for them to deal with credit, they had to. Because remember, the people can only deal with gold and silver and stuff. So the credit, we started dealing with the actual commerce, the actual individual entity. All right. So now if I take this Social Security number, which represents this little corporation that you own. So this corporation got the power to borrow. All right. But you got to also look at it like this little entity is also the United States borrowing up on the people as well, too. Don't forget that part, okay? Because, again, the reason why you do have everybody has a Social Security number and all that stuff is also that you were also kind of made agents into this particular entity, which also, if you are agent of something, that's who they contact when somebody is held liable for some particular entity, which is why we say what? Notice the agent, notice the principal, notice the principal, notice the agent, right? Exactly. So understand that. Understand it. But see, now that's them assuming a position for you. I didn't say I was that. You just assumed that's what I was. You see what I'm saying? I have to express it. But see, in order for us to do commerce in a very smooth way, there has to be something in default, by default. So there are things that are set in place by default. And trust me, it is not in your best interest. Anytime you let something be by default, it ain't in your interest. I hope you hear me. It's not in your interest. It's not in your interest at all. Okay? It's not in your interest at all. So if you understand that part, that changes everything for you to know. All right? So now I want you to consider this. Consider this. Consider this. Consider this. All right. So that means you must express everything in when it comes to commerce, because the number one rule in business is communication. We have to communicate. You know what I'm saying? Which is why a lot of you see, I'm going to tell you something right quick and then we're going to keep it moving. Like, that's why when we say God say alpha and omega, you know that's speaking of the alphabet, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because in the beginning was the what? Word. How do we get the word without the alphabet? Yep. Alpha, beta, omega. So I want you to really think about that. All right. So from beginning to end, that is. So the word itself. All right. So we got to pay attention to the words and what is being said to us in everything that we are doing, because that is the way of communication. And communication creates the reality. All right. So what is the actual reality here when we are going to any particular building to get, any place to get with some form of credit or whatever the case may be? What is the reality at? All right. So now the reality is now that you have a birth certificate and a social security card, that literally makes you a shareholder of this corporation called the United States. And since we are shareholders, that means that anything that we're doing in this is only here to benefit us. As the only reason we even created a government in any shape, form, or fashion is to benefit us as the people. Never to cause us harm, to become subject, or to become poor in it. That's the most ignorant thing ever. The whole entire situation is to make sure that it benefits the people in every shape, form, and fashion. And when we look at it from that standpoint, it changes things for us, because now when you have to look at your social means the general public, okay? Then you have the actual security, which means protection, assurance, and to be indemnified. So if you indemnified, who's indemnifying? Who issued it? So whoever issued the Social Security card is the one that's indemnifying you. So this creates what we call an insurance plan, right? So everything that we're doing is bonded. It's all trust now. If now it has to be, because now there's three parties in the situation here, right? We have the United States that's involved, the Treasury, and we have the bank and yourself. Or we can say the Federal Reserve on behalf. Either way it goes, it's still always three parties that's going to be involved with this situation, which means that this is a bond and it's a trust. Okay? Because there is a grantor and there is also a beneficiary here on this particular bond that we're creating. So every time we attach a social to it, we also attaching it to the public debt, because it also tells you that the one that is responsible for Federal Reserve notes is also the United States, which takes you back to public debt obligation in 31 USC 5118. So when you read that, it's going to say that to you, right? It's going to let you know. All right. So now that you know who you are, that makes us private investors. So credit is a right granted. First of all, a right. A right can only be for people. A right is something that is already in mere existence. There's nothing anybody can do to create a right for you. It just already is. Now, a interest is a different. Right? A privilege. If you got a privilege to do something, which only corporations can have, because without a contract, You see what I'm saying? They don't have a right. So now they only have a privilege and interest in something based upon the privilege that was presented through contract. Drop some ones if you understand that. Let's go. So is it not a privilege? Think about that. It's a privilege for their existence, man. Because, like, if we decided to, like, as you guys are already doing, if we just decided everybody just strictly moved to Bitcoin, like, bro, that would destroy them. But anyway, what I'm saying here is this, though. So now you have to understand credit has nothing to do with a credit score. Credit has everything to do with your ability to pay. So if I have to give you something based upon your ability to pay, well, your ability to pay changes daily, hourly. It could change. You see what I'm saying? Because what I made yesterday might not be what I make today. And that could be up or down. But my point is, it's the ability to pay. Now, based upon my ability to pay, so a credit is a right granted, right? So now, if you gave them the actual Social Security, which gives the right to grant credit, I want you to listen. Because once you give the Social Security account number, it gives the right to grant credit coming from the living being who gave the corporation a right to grant credit, right? All right. And the way this happens, or a privilege to grant credit, which the way it happens by is through the actual contract. So this actual note creates a bond. And the bond now holds a value based upon the obligations and promises within that has been made within this particular contract. All right. So now everything that you put on there, here's the bond. One, I disclose private information to you. And it's supposed to be offered to me in the fact that I have my ability to pay. My ability to pay. Now, not a credit score. A credit score can't say anything. It cannot be used against you, for one, because, again, it goes back to who is the original grantor of the credit, which is you. That's always going to be you. But, again, you have to understand that it has everything. Anytime you fill out an application, it is no point of asking you how much money you make and everything like that and determining whether you have the ability to pay. See, they don't know what you got the ability to do. You can't determine my ability to pay by me putting anything on this piece of paper because you don't know my abilities that I do have. But I always tell you guys there are certain things that you can also consider proof of funding, right? So if you are selling, I don't know, it could be anything, but I don't know. Let's say you're selling candles and you sell candles for $25. And let's say you got, let's say you got 12, right? So that puts us at 3. All right, that puts us at 300. Okay. So if we got 300, we'll just say in a bigger, larger number, right? Whatever. But my point is that's proof of funding. So if you add those candles up and say you can sell so many in a year according to how many that you have, how many you sell a month, and then you continually growing as well, you can count that as proof of funding into whatever else you were doing. See, they can't tell you what you got the ability to do. Because when they say, well, let me see your employer, such and such, things like that, they can't do that either. You see what I'm saying? That's not how this works. They can't do that. But you guys let them do stuff because, again, as I always go back and say, it's always about knowing your rights and protecting your right and interests and contracts and anything else that you got the right to do. All right? So we're going to dive into this, and I'm going to explain this a little bit further to you guys. So hope you guys are ready. If you're ready, let me know. let me know, because we about to vibe out for a little second. Make sure y'all drop some ones, man. Hit that share button for us. And let's show you guys how to stop these people from denying you credits. Because you're already the shareholder, and the shareholder has all the credits. Yes, it really is. Your time to shine now. Your time to shine. God said it was. You agree? I think it's your time to shine. Yeah, it's your season. So let's make sure we make this go as planned. All right? All day, every day. This is what we do. So y'all make sure y'all be here, man. We're going to do this regardless. All right? Let's make sure we get ready. All right. Y'all ready? Y'all said y'all ready, so we locked in then. Let's get it. All right, so what I would do is, if I receive one, I would send a notice of liability. Okay, so a notice of liability is what I would do. And in my notice of liability, okay, this is what you are going to get. In this notice of liability. So let's say on August 31st, whatever year, whatever, it doesn't matter, on whatever date, as the original creditor and private investor, I extended credit to, you'll put the consumer's name based on information provided in their application. It was my understanding and expectation that any decision, regarding this credit offer would rely solely on the application itself, as required by the Fair Credit Reporting Act and similar consumer protections. The goal was to ensure a fair and straightforward assessment, free any bias or extraneous information. So on September the 5th, 2022, or whatever day, let's say you received a letter and it denied you the credit application, citing information about consumer credit report, and this was unexpected as it seemed to contradict our agreement that the application itself would be only the source of consideration. The decision not only conflicted with initial understanding, but also seemed to ignore important federal consumer rights. So, under the FCRA, creditworthiness should be determined by the information provided in a consumer's credit application. When that is agreed, the basis, and it has to be, because that's the only reason you're giving all of this information in the first place. So, but not by denying credit based on additional information from a credit report, your institution appears to have bypassed these rules using information beyond what was agreed upon in the credit application. So, willful and negligence noncompliance, 15 USC 1681N and 1681O. So your reliance on information outside the application rather than adhering to the FCRA standard constitutes both willful and negligent disregard for the consumer's right. This noncompliance imposes a responsibility to address the harm caused by this oversight. So as well as when it comes to in the truth of lending, additionally, I believe that the unequal treatment regarding down payments. So let's say if you had to pay a down payment, right? All right. The requirements may be at play here, right? So federal law makes it clear that any required down payment must be uniform across consumers. If this requirement or offer differ from those provided to other applicants, it could reflect an imbalance or unfairness in credit offer process, further compounding the legal concerns. So let me break this down part. Let me break this part down to y'all, right? I think this is probably one of the most important parts because this happens to people every single day. You cannot get what you're trying to get because they saying that you don't have money. You don't have enough for a down payment, right? So how do we solve this situation? It's simple, man, because like you have to let them know if you were audited in any kind of way and you had to prove that every single individual, every consumer that you have had has given the same down payment. If there's one particular person, and what I'm saying by that is, if it says you could be, it could be $0 down payment. No, it is $0 down payment. Because if one individual come in here and do $0, zero down payment, then automatically this is considered a discrimination against you. Okay? This is a discrimination. I hope you understand that part. No, it's a discrimination, and you must do something about it, because a lot of you be like, man, they didn't even give me nothing, man. They didn't give me no credit. They told me I gotta have some money down. No, you don't. No, you don't. All right. Matter of fact, you can play the game so raw. Take somebody up there with you, man, and then you just like you run your credit together and see how much they offer them for down payment, and see how much they offer you, and be like, oh, we got you. We got you. You see what I'm saying? What made you offer them something different than me? If we both ain't paying whatever before we leave here, and then the next people out, so we'll sit up in here all day just to watch and ask everybody what was their down payment, because we finna get everybody a free car and their money back or something. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just different. Drop some ones, man. Are y'all hearing me right now? I don't think y'all hearing me. I don't think they're hearing what I'm trying to tell you. Are you hearing what I'm saying right now? Yeah, man. Are you literally listening to me? Because it's really that simple. Like, we be letting these folks play with us, and it's like, it's all because we don't know the rules to the game. Learn the rules to the game so we can stop being played with. Can we do that? So I'm going to read this to y'all again. Additionally, I believe that unequal treatment regarding down payment requirements may be at play here. Federal law makes it clear that any required down payment must be uniform across consumers. If this requirement or offer differ from those provided to other applicants, it could reflect an imbalance or unfairness in credit offer process, further compounding the legal concerns. Like, why are you letting them tell you no? See, and I'm a firm believer of God, right? And I feel like God ain't finna place me here in no messed up situation. I feel like the opportunity is given to, and what I'm saying, like, why would we be putting here into a situation that's impossible? I don't think that's true. What I do know is I think that we have all of the tools and we have everything here with us, and it's just us to become aware of it and to use that knowledge, and that's what it is. So and what I'm saying is like, the price already been paid. I can never be in debt to man in any shape, form, or fashion. It's not possible. Because, like, when you start looking at this whole entire situation, like, it just takes you back that everyone got the same rights and interests to this earth, to breathe, live, to do it all. So why is it that if I have a necessity here, you see what I'm saying? Like, why is it that you are about to go into some form of debt where it causes you to lose other necessities in your life? All because a corporation that does not sleep in the house, it don't do any of that. Think about that. And then you mean to tell me, so it gets to, take your house, you not get a house, or you not have whatever type of money that you need to build your house or to keep you and your family and the general welfare rolling the way it's supposed to roll. That's insane. All right. So I hope y'all hear what we're saying about this down payment situation. It's no reason you shouldn't leave with a car. And the whole point I'm telling you is this, like, they have to give you a credit offer according to your ability to pay. Ability to pay. Everybody put that in the comments. Ability to pay. Because that's what it's about. Right? So I don't care if you made $1,000 a month they got to give you a credit offer that's going to help you pay $1,000 a month. I mean, for your $1,000 a month that you make. So they have to give a credit offer for that immediately, right? So that's the situation. They have to give the actual credit offer, right? So now, the denial of the credit had a profound and tangible impact on both my personal and family life. Below is a breakdown of how this decision has affected us. Now, let's say you had to go get it from somewhere else, and there was higher ratings and everything. So not having access to the credit led me to seek out alternative financing at much higher interest rates and under significantly less favorable terms. As a result, I incurred roughly $15,000 in additional costs. I was forced to navigate temporary higher interest loan to make essential purchases, which has added an unexpected financial burden. All because of them. Right? Reputational harm. I take pride in my reliability and track record as a private investor, and a fair credit assessment is crucial for maintaining strong relationships with financial institutions. This denial has cast a shadow over my reputation, which has been built over many years. The damage to my credibility with other institutions has limited my access to future credit opportunities. A loss I estimate at, we can say, $25,000, based on anticipated financial repercussions, right? So think about that. Think about you having to go somewhere and you literally got to go get some. You got to go get some more money, or you got to go somewhere else and receive those highest interest rates and all that type of stuff. You had to do secure funding and money that you just didn't really have the time to put up in that way, right? Like, think about that. That caused you a financial burden, all because they wanted to charge you an extra $1,000 for you to put down, or they wanted the most out of you they could get. And all you got to do is this, though, like, even on Carvana, like, you can get on Carvana right now. And the crazy thing about it is when you get on it, everybody puts in their social, etc., and everybody's going to get some form of different type of down payment. Like, a few people will. You got them right there. How you going to make me have to pay? Did you offer this person to pay this? No, you didn't, right? It's not all across the board. So now we got a problem here. Right? It is a problem. So also, we received emotional and psychological distress. The stress of trying to overcome this unexpected financial barrier has impacted my mental health and peace of mind, which has naturally affected my family as well. The worry, disrupted sleep, and ongoing anxiety have been heavy weight on all of us, valued here at $10,000 to reflect the toll this situation has taken. Man, I'm having to go see a shrink for this. And some people really have bad anxiety from stuff like this. So all jokes aside, man, I know that that's a real serious thing too. And it happens. People hyperventilate because they're in so much debt and don't know how to do it, how to really come up out of it or understand it, or why they can't get something and something they need and a necessity of it. They don't get it, they're going to lose their job. So think about you not being able to go to work because they denied you. Serious, huh? Absolutely. So navigating this matter has required considerable time and energy that could have been better spent on productive activities, from researching and drafting as well. All right. Documents to seeking legal counsel. I estimate my time investment at $10,000, and this figure represents both literal and opportunity costs involved, right? Total damages claimed based on these outlined impacts. I am respectfully requesting $100,000 to account for financial hardship, reputational harm, mental distress, and the time and resources I have had to dedicate to addressing this matter. So in light of the significant impacts, I am requesting the following actions to correct the situation and make this right. So a reassessment of the credit decision. I kindly request that my application be reevaluated based solely on the information provided in the original credit application, as was initially agreed. A fair and impartial assessment is also I'm asking for in this process. So extension of credit based on the original terms. If the original terms and information confirm that credit can be extended, I request that the credit offer be honored accordingly. So proof of uniform down payment requires. Please confirm that the down payment terms are indeed consistent across all applicants as required by 15 USC 1662. If it turns out there was unequal treatment regarding the down payment, I request immediate rectification here. So we also want compensation for the damages given in the outline, cost and harm. I'm requesting $100,000 in compensation. This includes the financial losses, emotional distress, and reputational damage caused by the decision, as well as the time and resources invested in pursuing a fair resolution. So I kindly request written assurance within 14 days that you have taken corrective action to address the situation and that similar issues will be prevented in the future in accordance with the FCRA and Truth in Lending Act provisions. All right. And then we fully give our declarations. Right. So as long as you guys understand that, number one, credit has to be offered to you according to your ability to pay. Again, I'm going to say it has to be offered. Okay. It's not an option. Some form of credit has to be offered to you according to your ability to pay. And it's not for them to determine your ability to pay. Right? And what I mean by that is once you put down the amount of how much ever, whatever, like your actual income and all of that, they be like, well, I need to see some check stubs. I need to see this. I need to see that. No, you don't need to see a thing. Your policy does not override the federal law. It's what I placed on the credit application. It didn't say when you see a check stub, you get to determine my credit. It don't say when you see proof of some form of funds, etc., it gets determined the credit. It don't say that. Drop some ones if you understand that, man. Drop some ones if you understand that. Can y'all find it where it says that? Can you show me right now where it says that? But I can definitely show you where it talks about the credit reporting. I can definitely show you where it talks about those things. Because if you go to, it says this. 15 USC 1681A I1. The consumer being determined based on information in the consumer's application for the credit or insurance to meet the specific criteria bearing on credit worthiness or insurability as applicable that are established before selection of the consumer, all right, for the offer. And for the purpose of determining whether to extend credit or insurance pursuant to the offer. So before selection of the consumer for the offer, it was fully determined on the information. The credit application can be used to determine a firm offer credit. Well, of course, because they always say, hey, won't you fill out this credit application so we can determine how much credit and offer a credit. Right? Is that not what they say? Come on, let me know. Is that not what they say to you? Fill out this credit application so we can see what how much credit is going to be offered to you. So basically, you're going to determine based upon the credit application. It's the only way this works. Otherwise, what's the point of me giving you or filling out the credit application? It's not it. It's not to be determined on the credit score, because we can even show proof that you can't do that. All right? You can't do it. Then it also says in 15 USC 1681A I2B, it says other information in the consumer's application for the credit or insurance to determine that the consumer meets the specific criteria based on the credit worthiness insurability. So again, what was your point of giving the actual Social Security, which takes us back to social, meaning the general public, Security means protection, assurance, and to be identified. And then we got account, which means credits up on the account, because that's all accounts are for, is to issue credits on the account, right? And there's always going to be credits. So credits can be in accounts receivable, or credits can be in accounts payable. Doesn't matter. Credits is going to be issued one way or another. Accounts receivable, expect to receive credits. On accounts payable, expect to pay out credits. Drop some ones if you understand that. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right. So we got to stop letting them do this to us, right? Are y'all ready to stop letting them do this to us? Can we no longer allow them to just take? Because you can really stop this stuff if you do what is necessary. Go read, understand, learn the rules to the game. And when you do, it changes everything for you. But we're just out here doing something, and I had to, you got to really think about it. We out here doing stuff because we seen somebody else do it. We seen them do it, and you figured that was normal because they do it. It's no difference than why they say, oh, well, we vote Democrat, they're for the blacks. Bro, have you read the freaking history of Democrats and so-called black people? Bro, I don't think you would ever say that if you read. But once you read, you're like, oh, they don't like you. No, they don't. And then when you go back into history, well, we wasn't in that party. We were in the Republican Party. That's another thing, which would make total sense since the government is to always give a Republican form of Republican form of states. You see what I'm saying? A Republican form of government to the states. That's only right. But my point is, we just been out here doing stuff. You see what I'm saying? Because we seen somebody else do it. With no thought of it. It's just like, oh, this is just the right thing to do. No, and it don't be. It been costing us. Like, think about it. Well, we I had to really ask myself one day. I was like, why is it I gotta, if we say it all the time. It's on our Facebook, social media. Why are you paying taxes? You get taxes taken out your check, and you paying taxes on everything else that you buy. Bro, how many times can the money that you make be taxed? It shouldn't be taxed nothing but once. It shouldn't be taxed on every single thing. So there's only one or two situations that's happening here. We're being taxed for private credit, and we're also being taxed for dealing with saying that you're reselling something. And we're always saying that we're fully in commerce. We're not saying anything is for personal household reasons. If something is for personal household reasons, bro, that don't get taxed. None whatsoever. So why are we allowing this to happen to us? You see what I'm saying? And we have the power to redeem it in lawful money to where it's also a non-taxable event. It's up to you to change the situation. But again, we just been, we got to pay taxes. I'm a tax-paying citizen. Well, we sound like a damn fool. Be happy to sound proud, to be stupid sometimes. Ain't that what they be saying, though? I'm a tax-paying citizen. Okay. And you're supposed to pay if you're profiting in commerce and stuff like that, then yeah, pay. But I ain't paying no taxes just to drink some water, bro. I got tax for water. I'm not reselling this in any kind of way. Why? Ain't no way. So what we been doing wrong, family? Think about that. What have we been doing wrong? And why are we constantly going the wrong way? I can't do it no more. I cannot do it anymore. So this is why you should be here at the private administration. Yeah, you should be here at the private administration, guys. And when you come to this conference, it's time for you to really start taking control of your life, to understand and knowing your rights, knowing what it is that you can do for yourself. And also knowing that you got the power, because like if you can read and comprehend, like, come on, sit down. And then in order to read something, you got to know the definition to understand the author. So go read the definitions, because they have to disclose this to gain understanding with you. So read. Somebody went and paid $4,000 to $5,000 on a down payment for a car today, and the other individual that was there with them at the same time getting a car too was zero down payment. Man, and that actually caused you some financial harm, because you could have used that for some other things and other investments and things like that, but you was not treated fairly. See, everything has to be done fair. Fair means what? Equity. Do y'all not understand fair means equity? That's why it's called the Fair Credit Reporting Act, right? Fair, equity. So what's fair? What is fair? Is it fair for me to charge you $5,000 when I got a whole $0 down payment for the same car somebody else can come in and do? Even though they were what? We're going to give you the credit, but we need $5,000 down today. No, you don't. No, you don't. But I tell you what, since you're the one that's making this offer, it is you making this offer, and since you're the one that says that you need it, I'm going to need you guys now. Who am I dealing with, man? Let me go home and think about this. See, and this is what you guys got to start learning too. Don't be an asshole. Don't be talking all crazy and just say, oh, okay, well, I tell you what, man, let me go home and let me get your card. You know, let me get your card so I can know the decision I want to make. I just got to go read a few things right quick. You know, read up on some things, and yeah, and then I'll get back with you on this $5,000, and just politely take the cards. You got their name now. So they ain't got to be like, I ain't giving you my name until you know. Oh, okay. So you ain't got to go through all that. Just know how to play the situation. All right. I appreciate it. And I'm going to come on home and I'm going to get on here on this old notice of liability. And about discrimination. Yeah, I'm going to hit them with all of that. And I'm going to go directly at this individual and the company for the lack of training him on the particular situation when it comes to down payments. Yeah. See, a lot of y'all want to get rough and say all this old crazy stuff. Like, we gotta do all that. Play it professional. Be professional at all times. And we're gonna get exactly what we want with no problem. Because they're gonna be like, whoa, they just handled me real smooth. And they came back with a whole notice of liability about me discriminating. See, I'm strategic in stuff like this. Like, okay, all right. Because they always doing stuff. They so used to doing this stuff to you that it's like first-hand nature. I ain't gonna say second-hand nature. It's first-hand nature to them now. They just do it without even knowing they doing it to you. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. But you know what they gonna learn though. And that's gonna take each and every last one of you guys to make sure that you are doing what it takes, your due diligence to make sure that we uphold the law, because the only one who receives justice is those who uphold the law. If you're not willing to uphold the law, which means to operate it within yourself in the first place, to have clean hands, then you don't deserve this. You don't deserve this. And that's about as 1,000 as I can keep it with you on this. Right? So make sure you're here at this private administration for a private court settlement. Because listen, we can settle this out of court and you do certain things. All right? Or I can take it to the public. So this is what part of this is going to be about. That's why I say this is going to be broad. We're touching a lot of stuff. We're touching credit. Yeah, we're going to be talking about taxation. Yeah, we're going to be dealing with court stuff. Yeah, we're going to be dealing with mortgages. Yeah, we're going to be dealing with a lot of this stuff because you need to know how to administrate for yourself. You need to learn how to protect your rights and interests. But again, a lot of y'all want to go through these processes and still don't know what a right is. And I told you, a right is just something that is already in mere existence. Like nobody can give it to you. You already got the right in it. It's a right. Like the right to breathe. Breathe. You got that right. Can't nobody tell you, oh, I gave you the right to breathe and they can take it away. No, it don't go that way. God gave you the right to breathe and only God can take. And that is a fact. So I want you to think about that particular situation and that. And then when you start understanding that, it brings everything else into full fruition here, because you need to know that. You need to be able to stand and handle your affairs, right? We can no longer be ignorant to the fact and the situations and the reality that we are in. You can't keep running from this type of stuff because, oh, it looks hard. Listen, I don't care if it takes 20 years to learn this. Learn it. You got to have that type of discipline, you know? So again, that's one way. So there's two things you guys should have learned tonight. Tonight, you should have learned that every application, no matter what are you doing, can only be determined by what's on the application, whether you get credit. So when it comes to any consumer credit sale, it's based upon what's in the actual application. All right? No credit scores, no other third parties or anything can they determine whether they're going to offer you credit. Because again, I always say the ability to pay. Okay, somebody else saying that, oh, well, this happened, and he don't got the ability to pay. And then they be doing false reports as well. So we can also go to the fact of all of the things they've done. So, or I'm in a dispute with these people. So you can't take what they say as facts. If we are in the middle of a dispute, I don't care what they said. All right, which is why I also have an executive letter that we send out to credit bureaus, and I can make them remove anything. They have to follow rules and procedures too. So make sure you know that. Now, the other thing that you should have learned is down payments. Again, man, they cannot. So really, it's always none. The only thing they could ever do is offer zero down payment, because somebody can walk up there today and literally walk straight out with a car, zero down payment. So if they make you pay $500, $1,000, $300, $250, $100, I don't care if they a couple thousand, anything they make you pay off the rip, you need to understand right then and there, you were just discriminated against. You were just discriminated against. All right? Y'all got it? So make sure you here with us on Private Administration, December the 7th, 10 a.m., 4 p.m. Central Time on a Saturday. Huntsville Country Club is where we're going to be at. Also, make sure you guys understand it's $250 in person. That deadline is December the 4th. And the live stream is $200. That deadline is November the 30th. Now, what you can do is this. Just sign up. If you know you ain't going to make it, you still can get it at this price. You will be sent the replays and templates as well, right? So it's gonna be a lot of impactful information in here. I'm gonna load this up for sure. So for those of you that know me, yes, it's gonna be a lot of stuff in this. All right. So don't forget that, man. Also, we got work sessions tomorrow, Monday, 11 a.m. Central Time, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Central Time. This is free. So everything that you see here, make sure that you do exactly what it says. To make sure that you get in class with us, you will be receiving an email from us as well. So make sure that you also check your spam. And once you check your spam, make sure that you make sure that we on that important list where you don't have to worry about us going to the spam. And this is also how you will be able to receive certain templates that we give out for free and stuff like that as well. So make sure you be there. Tomorrow we're going to be picking up where we left off at Wednesday. So, which was a great class, by the way. So let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. All right. And also we got the White Friday sale, November the 29th, 50% off on pretty much everything on there. All right. On everything going there. So we're going to get it jumping for you guys, man. We going to get it popping. All right. So it is about to go down. And I'm about to get up out of here on you guys tonight, man. I do appreciate you guys. Always log in with us in God We Trust Academy on YouTube, that's Twitch, as well as Facebook. Eric Ingram Bay on Facebook, MNRP 619-2020 on TikTok as well. Log in with us. We do have a lot of content that's going to be coming up even more and more. So just keep logging in with us, man. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a beautiful night.